Atherosclerosis, heart disease. We will study about the process of blockage of the artery and the eventual formation of thrombus. The human heart has a prominent coronary artery. A magnified view of the coronary artery has three basic layers: tunica externa, tunica muscularis, and tunica interna. This innermost layer is made up of squamous cells. When the blood carries a higher level of cholesterol in the form of LDL molecule for a longer period of time, these cholesterol molecules tend to settle on the surface of the artery. Here they are absorbed through the epithelial cells and form a layer between the tunica interna and tunica muscularis. This layer is called the plaque. As the plaque grows, it spreads along the artery wall, forming a swelling which protrudes into the lumen, resulting in the reduced blood flow. This is called atherosclerosis. At times, epithelial cells may rupture at some point. This activates the platelets, which start forming fibrin threads. Eventually, a clot gets formed. The formation of this clot is known as a thrombosis. The clot blocks the blood flow through the artery. Life cycle of a frog. In this topic, we will learn about various stages in the life cycle of the frog: eggs, tadpole, froglet, adult, characteristics of the stages, and their habitat. The eggs of the frog are found in clusters, laid in water. The eggs stick to each other by a jelly, and this whole cluster of eggs is called the spawn. After about 10 days, a small tadpole-like creature can be seen inside the egg. It finally breaks the egg and comes out of it. It flows along with the water current and attaches itself to a plant for support. This tadpole breathes through its gills, which can be seen on the sides. They gradually grow in size and start moving freely. Slowly, the hind legs emerge. External gills disappear. And gradually, the gill slits also disappear. The tadpole starts breathing through the lungs. Next, the front legs develop. Now we observe the tail, which starts shrinking. The tadpole starts spending more time outside the water. This little frog with a small tail is called a froglet. Finally, the tail disappears completely, and it grows into an adult frog. A brief summary of the life cycle of a frog. The eggs develop into mature eggs. The egg then hatches to form a tadpole. Which develops into tadpoles with hind limbs. Then forelimbs appear, and it becomes a froglet, which finally grows into an adult frog. This is the life cycle of a frog. Preparation of oxygen from hydrogen peroxide. The experimental setup has a conical flask containing manganese dioxide, which acts as a catalyst. The thistle funnel is fitted to this flask. The thistle funnel is filled with hydrogen peroxide. The delivery tube leads to an inverted gas jar placed over a trough of water. Now, allow hydrogen peroxide to be added drop-wise into manganese dioxide. 2 molecules of hydrogen peroxide in the presence of a catalyst, manganese dioxide, break up into 2 molecules of water and release a molecule of oxygen. The released oxygen gas passes through the delivery tube, then over water, and starts getting collected in the gas jar. This method of collection of gas is called the downward displacement of water. Summary: 2 molecules of hydrogen peroxide in the presence of a catalyst, manganese dioxide, give 2 molecules of water and release a molecule of oxygen. Valency. To study valency and valence orbit, tendency of an atom to complete its octet configuration, and calculations of valency of an atom and an ion. According to Niels Bohr, electrons in an atom are arranged in a region around the nucleus called energy levels, orbits, or shells. These orbits are represented by letters such as K, L, M, or by numbers 1, 2, 3, and so on. The number of electrons present in the outermost orbit are known as valence electrons, and the outermost orbit is called valence orbit. The maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in the outermost orbit is 8. The elements with completely filled outermost orbit, containing 8 electrons, are said to possess an octet configuration. Such elements do not combine with other elements easily, and hence show very little reactivity. Therefore, they are said to have 0 combining capacity. On the other hand, the elements with incompletely filled valence orbits have a tendency to complete their octet configuration by combining with atoms of the same or different kind. This capacity of an atom to combine with another atom is called its valency. Elements combine with other elements by losing, gaining, or sharing their electrons. For example, electronic configuration of sodium is 2, 8, 1. And that of chlorine is 2, 8, 7. Sodium finds it easier to lose 1 electron rather than gaining 7 electrons to complete its octet, while chlorine easily accepts an electron rather than losing 7 electrons to complete its octet. Thus, both sodium and chlorine have a valency of 1 as their combining capacity is 1. On the other hand, consider 2 chlorine atoms having electronic configuration 2, 8, 7, approaching each other. As you can see, each chlorine atom needs 1 electron to complete its octet. In this case, instead of gaining or losing electrons, both the chlorine atoms share 1 electron each. Hence, the valency of both the chlorine atoms and the chlorine molecule is 1, as their combining capacity is 1. Thus, the number of electrons gained, lost, or shared complete the octet directly tells us about the combining capacity of the element, that is, its valency. Let us now calculate the valency of an atom. We will first study elements having more than 4 valence electrons. Consider an atom of fluorine with atomic number 9 and an electronic configuration of 2, 7. Fluorine thus has 7 valence electrons. In order to calculate its valency, the number of valence electrons are subtracted from 8. Hence, the valency of fluorine is 1. For an oxygen atom with an atomic number 8 and an electronic configuration of 2, 6, its valency is given by 8 minus 6. That is 2. Now we will study those atoms which have less than 4 valence electrons. Consider an atom of sodium with an atomic number 11. It has an electron configuration of 2, 8, 1. Thus, sodium has 1 valence electron. For such atoms, their valencies are equal to the valence electrons. Sodium thus shows a valency of 1. It should be noted that valency of both sodium and fluorine is 1, but sodium loses an electron, while fluorine gains an electron in order to complete their octets. Hence, valency of sodium is considered to be positive, whereas that of fluorine is negative. Let us now see how the valency of ions is calculated. In case of ions, their valencies are the same as the charges carried by them and are expressed with proper signs. Species carrying positive or negative charges are called ions. Those which carry positive charges are known as cations. Some of the simple cations are Na+, Cu2+, Al3+, etc. And hence they have valencies of +1, +2, +3, respectively. The species carrying negative charges are called anions. The examples of anions are Cl-, O2-, etc., showing valencies of -1 and -2, respectively. Moreover, there exists a group of atoms carrying a charge known as polyatomic ion. For example, NH4+, SO42-, PO43-, etc. They show valencies of +1, -2, and -3, respectively. Summary: we have studied that the number of electrons present in the outermost orbit are known as valence electrons, and the outermost orbit is called valence orbit. The maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in the outermost orbit are 8. Elements with incompletely filled valence orbits have the tendency to complete their octet configuration by losing, gaining, or sharing their electrons. This capacity of an atom to combine with another atom is called its valency.